Hello everyone, welcome to RSH Pharmahub. I hope you all watched part 1 of this Python programming series. In part 1, we discussed what Python is, why it is important for pharmacy students, and how it can help us in pharmaceutical calculations, research, and data analysis. Now, in this second part, we are going to move from theory to practice. By the end of this lecture, you will know how to install Python on your computer, understand the different environments used for writing Python programs, and you will write your very first Python program. So, don't worry if you have never done programming before. I will explain everything step by step in a simple way. So, let's get started. Before we start writing programs, let's see what we can do. First, we need a computer. If you are using Windows, Mac OS or Linux, any other modern computers will work. Second, we need the Python interpreter. Now you might be wondering, what is a interpreter? Think of it as a translator. We write instructions in Python language, but the computer only understands machine language. The Python interpreter translates our code into something the computer can understand and execute. Next, we need a code editor or an IDE. An IDE is simply a software where we can write our programs. Think of it like Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, we type documents. In an IDE, we type Python code. We will look at different IDEs in a few minutes. You will also need an internet connection because we will download Python from the official website. And finally, you don't need any programming experience. This course starts completely from the basics so everyone can tag along. Now let's understand the installation process. The first step is to visit the official Python website python.org. Always download Python from the official website. Never download it from random website because they may contain outdated or modified versions. Next, click on the download section and download the latest stable version available. After downloading, run the installer. Here there is one important step. Before clicking install now, make sure you click the option called add Python to path. Many beginners accidentally skip this option and label Python commands don't work properly in the command prompt. So don't forget this step. After installation is complete, we will verify whether Python is completely installed by using the command py version. I will show this entire process practically at the end of this lecture. When we install Python, another software called IDLE is automatically installed. You don't need to install it separately. IDLE is the simplest environment for writing Python programs. It has two modes. The first one is called the shell. Here you can type one command at a time and immediately see the result. The second one is called the script editor. Here you can write an entire program, save it and run it. Since IDLE is very simple, it is an excellent choice for beginners. The main environment we will use in this course is Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is different from a normal editor. It allows us to write codes, explanations, and view the output all in the same document. This makes learning much easier. For example, if we calculate a patient dose or create a graph, the output appears immediately below the code. Many university and researchers use Jupyter Notebook because it is simple and well organized. Later in this lecture, I will also show you how to install Jupyter Notebook on your computer. Another popular editor is Visual Studio Code, also known as VS Code. This is one of the most widely used editors in the software industry. It provides many advanced features like auto-completion, error highlighting, debugging, and project management. Although VS Code is very powerful, it may be a little confusing for complete beginners. So for this course, we will use Jupyter Notebook. Once you become comfortable with Python, you can later move on to VS Code. Now let's compare all three environments. IDLE comes with Python and it is very easy to use. Jupyter Notebook requires a small installation but is excellent for learning and assignments. VS Code is mainly used for large professional projects. For our course, I recommend using Jupyter Notebook because it gives the best learning experience. Now let's write our first Python command. The first function every programmer learns is called print. The purpose of print is very simple. It displays information on the screen. Think of print like speaking. If you don't use print, Python performs calculations silently but nothing appears on the screen. Whenever you want to show a message or the results of a calculation, you will use print. Let's look at different ways of using print. We can print simple text, we can print numbers, we can print the results of calculations, we can print multiple values together, we can even control how the output appears on the screen. As you continue learning Python, you will use print in almost every program. Suppose we have a variable called track and we want to display its value inside a sentence. Instead of joining text and variables manually, Python provides a much easier method called an f-string. We simply write the letter F before the quotation marks and place the variable inside curly braces. This makes our output cleaner and easier to read. You will see f-strings used in almost every modern Python program. So far, our programs only displayed information. But what if we want information from the user? That's where the input functions comes in. The program asks a question and waits. The user types the answer and presses the enter key. The answer is stored inside a variable. One important thing to remember is that input always stores the value as a text even if the user enters a number. We will solve this problem in the next slide. This is one of the most important concepts for beginners. Suppose the user enters a patient weight. Even though the user types a number like 25, Python stores it as a text. If you try to perform mathematical calculation directly, Python gives an error. To convert the text into a number, we use int or float. Use int when working with the whole numbers. Use float when working with decimal values like weight, BMI or drug dose. Always remember this rule whenever you accept numerical input from the user. Let's combine everything we have learned so far. First, we ask the user to enter their name using input. Next, we use an F string to greet the user. Finally, we display a welcome message. This is your first complete Python program. I encourage you to pause the video and type this program and program yourself instead of copying it. Typing the code helps you remember it much better. Let us quickly revise today's lesson. We learned how to install Python. We understood the difference between IDLE, Jupyter Notebook and VS Code. We learned the print function for displaying output. We learned input for accepting user input. We also understand why type conversation using int and float is necessary. These are the building blocks of Python programming. In the next lecture, we will learn about variables, data types and operators where we will start creating more useful pharmacy related programs. It's time for the practical session. In the next few minutes, I will show you how to install Python and Jupyter Notebook on your Windows computer step by step. If you have already installed Python, you can use this session as a quick revision. Otherwise, follow along with me and pause the video whenever you need extra time. Now that we have understood the theory, let's put everything into practice. In the next few minutes, we will install Python on our computer and make sure everything is working correctly. Don't worry if you have never installed Python software before. Just follow the same steps I am doing on the screen. If any steps goes too fast, simply pause the video and continue once you have completed it. Let's get started. Here, I have already downloaded the latest Python installer from the official Python website. I am opening it now. You may notice that the installation screen looks slightly different from the old YouTube videos. That's because Python keeps improving its installer over time. So even if your screen isn't exactly the same as mine, don't worry. The overall installation process is still very simple. On newer versions, you will see something called the Python Installation Manager. This tool makes installing and managing Python much easier because it can automatically download the latest Python runtime whenever it's needed. Instead of manually searching for different versions, the installation manager handles the most of the work for us. Now, we are being asked whether we want to add Python's commands directly to the system path. I am typing Y and pressing enter. You might be wondering, what is path? This think of path as a list of locations that Windows check whenever you type a command. By adding Python to the path, Windows knows that Python is installed. That means later, whenever we type commands like py or Python, Windows can immediately find and run the Python for us. Next, the installer asks whether we want to install the latest C Python runtime. Again, I am choosing yes. You have to type Y and click enter. The C Python runtime is actual Python software that executes our programs. Without this runtime, we won't be able to write or run any Python code. So this is the most important part of the installation. Now the installation is complete. At the end, it asks whether we want to view the online help. We don't need that right now. So I simply choose no, click N, type N and click enter. Now let's make sure Python was installed correctly. Just search for cmd and enter. You have the command prompt will be open. Type py version. If Python is installed correctly, it displays the installed version number. Seeing the version number confirms that our installation was successful. Next, I will check whether pip is working. Pip is Python's package manager. You can think of pip as an app store for Python. Whether we need additional libraries or tool, PIP downloads and installs them for us. Then the commands I am using is pym pip version. If a version number appears, PIP is working correctly. Now let's install Jupyter Notebook. I am typing pym pip install notebook. Jupyter Notebook is the environment we will use throughout this course. One of the biggest advantages of Jupyter Notebook is that we can write our code, execute it, and immediately see the output on the same page. This makes learning Python much easier, especially for beginners. After the installation finishes, I will launch the Jupyter Notebook using pym Notebook. Within a few seconds, the browser opens automatically. This is the Jupyter Notebook interface. Now, from now on, we will write most of our Python programs here. Now I will create a new Python notebook. Every notebook is made up of cells. Each cells allow us to write and execute Python code independently. This makes it easier to test programs one step at a time. Let's write our first program. I will type print welcome to RSH Pharmahub. Now I will press shift plus enter. As you can see, Python immediately executes the program and displays the output below. Also, you can click the run option present in the menu bar. Congratulations, you have successfully installed Python, installed Jupyter Notebook, and executed your very first Python program. Excellent! Your computer is now completely ready for Python programming. From this point onwards, you can follow every coding exercise in this course without worrying about the setup. I recommend spending a few minutes exploring Jupyter Notebook on your own. Try creating another notebook and experiment with different print statements. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. In the next lecture, we will start writing actual Python programs by learning about variables, data types, and operators. These are all the fundamental building blocks of Python, and once you understand them, you will be ready to create simple pharmacy related programs. If you found this lecture helpful, please like the video, share it with your classmates, and subscribe to RSH Pharmahub for more pharmacy focused programming content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in part 3.